I got off my mission, like I said before, I was only home for like 3 weeks, and then I was off to school in BYU, Idaho, and I was kind of just doing the prereq classes. I wasn't really sure what I was going to do as far as a career, so I just kind of went to school. I was living with my cousins and just kind of trying to figure out what I wanted to do.
I was making plans to go back to China because I taught English in China for 4 months a few years ago, and I really wanted to go back. So I was doing all the interviews, and I got all the way to like the last interview, and I was about to commit to going, and then something was just like, you shouldn't go. And then so I called them and I was like, I'm so sorry, I can't go, like I don't know why. And the guy was like, every girl who says that gets married, so watch out. And I was like, it's not gonna happen. And so I was supposed to go home for the spring semester, but then something just told me to stay, so I did, even though I was off track and I could have gone home to save money. But I stayed in Rexburg, and a few weeks later I met this handsome gem. The rest is history.
So when I was in Rexburg, I kind of like found this group of friends that I was hanging out with. They lived at this apartment complex called Nauvoo Housing, and I was there like every day. I didn't live there, but it seemed like I lived there because I was there so much. And where I was like hanging out with was this group of people, and they lived at this house, and Dakota lived right next door. But I never met Dakota until like way later on. So I was at Nauvoo like every single day, and I never saw her ever. I guess the first time that we met,
The second first time.
Yeah, the second first time that we met. I was over with those people, and we were about to go to
The spillway.
the spillway. So we were gonna go do that, and I was hungry like I always am. So I went to go get a burger, and I came back, and everyone was kind of behind me. I was just at the table eating my burger, and then all of a sudden this random girl comes and sits like right next to me, like really close for some reason. I don't think she meant to sit really close to me, did you?
I didn't. You were using the stool as a footrest, and so that's why it was so close to you.
Yeah, I was using a footrest, and she took my footrest. And I was like, why is this girl sitting so close to me? And then she noticed my burger. She's like, oh, is that from the Berg? And I was like, yeah, this is my first time eating it. And she's like, oh, no way, I love burgers. And then she was like, can I take a video of you taking your first bite of the Berg? And I was like, yeah. So I just kind of sat there and took a bite of my burger, and she was videotaping me.
You make me sound so weird. It wasn't that weird.
I guess it wasn't really that weird. I'm making it sound weird.
Yeah, you were flirting back. It wasn't just me.
Well, was that your way of flirting?
I guess.
So that was the time that we met, and that night we all went to the spillway, the dam, and we didn't really talk that much that night, huh? Yeah, we didn't really talk that much, but I noticed her when we were together at the apartment. So we started dating shortly after.
The next day.
The next day.
Oh wait, no. We kissed the next day.
We kissed the next day, and then we started dating.
We were dating 5 days later.
Our first date was mini golf. A lot of fun. And then we kept dating, and I think we dated for 2 months. 2 months. And I had to put a ring on it because I fell in love with Dakota pretty quickly, and I knew that she was the one. I wanted to marry her, so I proposed to her, and we got married the following
2 months later.
2 months later. And now we've been married for almost 3 months. So
wait, today's 3 months.
Today's 3 months.
We made it.
So obviously, as a lot of people see it, Mormons, people that are members of our church, we tend to get married pretty quickly and pretty young. I guess I mean, it's different for everyone, but for myself, you know, I always knew that I wanted to have a family. I always knew that I wanted to get married because, it's just, I guess, my dream to have a family. But I came home from my mission, and it really didn't cross my mind that I would get married I came home in April, and it's December now, so that's like, what, 8 months? So yeah, I was like, okay, I can go to school and I can date around a bit, but I'm not expecting to get married really fast. But this is the thing, is that I fell in love with Dakota, and I wasn't, in my mind I was like, I want to marry this girl, and like when I know, I know. And I feel like that's for a lot of people. When you know that you love someone, you do. So, yeah, I think for us as members of the church, we know that being married and having our own families is the way to go. And I knew that I was going to get there eventually, and so I knew at some point that the girl that I was going to marry was going to come into my life. Although I didn't know when that was going to happen, it happened 2 months after I got home, 3 months. So Dakota came into my life, and I believe that God sent her to me. So I had to go with it, because I knew that if I like missed out on this opportunity, I could have, I wouldn't be this happy, I guess. So I think like the reason why like me and Dakota got married so quickly is because I told Dakota that I loved her before she told me. Like she told me that she loved me just like a week after, right?
Yeah, I was too scared too.
Yeah. Dakota was scared to tell me that she loves me because she knew that when she would say that I love you, she knew that we were going to get married. Because that's the way it works out, I guess. But I think I think the reason why we get married so quickly is because we, like I said before, like a big part of this church is families, and for myself, I wanted to have a family, and if I found the right girl, then why not just start now? And
I think it's easier to like commit to each other so fast because you're raised with the same standards. Like you're raised wanting the same things, you're raised believing the same things, and like you're both progressing towards the same goals. So I think it's easier to start your life together so young when you're both striving for the same things. Like different careers maybe, but like ultimately, like in our religion, we're striving for the same goals.